8-year-old Maya couldn't use her legs, but her stepmother called her a burden. One dark night, the cruel woman threw Maya from a bridge into the rushing river below. "Finally free," she whispered. But Maya didn't die that night. 14 years later she returned, stronger, richer, and ready for justice. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. Maya was only 8 years old when her world changed forever. She had been born with legs that didn't work like other children's legs. She moved around in a wheelchair, but her smile was always bright and her heart was full of love. Maya's father, Mr. Ahmed, was a kind man who loved his daughter very much. When Maya was 6, he married Syra, thinking she would be a good mother to Maya. But Syra had a cold heart. She didn't want a disabled child in her house. At first, Syra pretended to care. She smiled when Mr. Ahmed was around. But when he went to work, her true face showed. She would push Maya's wheelchair roughly. She would forget to give Maya food. She called Maya ugly names and said she was a burden. "Why did your father bring home a broken child?" Syra would whisper cruelly. "You're nothing but trouble." Maya tried to tell her father, but Syra was clever. She always acted sweet when he was home. Mr. Ahmed worked long hours at the factory to support his family. He was tired and didn't see what was happening. One terrible day when Maya was 8, her father had to go to another city for work. He would be gone for a week. Syra saw her chance. "Finally," she said to herself, "I can get rid of this problem forever." That evening, Syra told Maya they were going for a walk to the river. Maya was excited. She rarely got to go anywhere. "Are we going to feed the fish?" Maya asked happily from her wheelchair. "Something like that," Syra replied with a cold smile. The river was far from their house. It was getting dark when they reached the old wooden bridge. No one else was around. The water below was deep and fast-moving. "Maya," Syra said, "I'm tired of taking care of you. Your father isn't here to protect you anymore." Before Maya could understand what was happening, Syra lifted her from the wheelchair and threw her over the bridge railing. "Goodbye, little burden," Syra called as Maya fell toward the dark water. Maya hit the cold river with a splash. The current was strong and pulled her away from the bridge. She couldn't use her legs to swim, but she used her arms to stay above water. She was scared and called for help, but no one could hear her. Syra watched for a moment, then pushed the empty wheelchair into some bushes. She walked home and told the neighbors that Maya had run away. When Mr. Ahmed returned from his trip, Syra cried fake tears. "She just disappeared," Syra lied. "I looked everywhere. Maybe she went to find her real mother." Mr. Ahmed was heartbroken. He searched for months but never found any trace of his daughter. But Maya didn't die that night. The river carried her for miles until she washed up on a muddy bank near a small fishing village. An old fisherman named Baba Karim found her there in the early morning, unconscious but alive. Baba Karim and his wife Ammi Fatima had no children of their own. They took Maya to their simple home and nursed her back to health. When Maya woke up and told them what had happened, they were shocked and angry. "That evil woman," Ammi Fatima said, holding Maya close. "Don't worry, my child. You're safe now." Maya was afraid that Syra would find her, so she begged them not to tell anyone where she was. Baba Karim and Ammi Fatima agreed. They would keep her safe and raise her as their own daughter. Life in the fishing village was hard but happy. The old couple loved Maya like she was their real daughter. They built ramps so she could move around easily. Baba Karim made her a new wheelchair from wood and old bicycle wheels. "You're our miracle child," Ammi Fatima would say. "The river brought you to us for a reason." Maya learned to help with the fishing business. She couldn't go out on the boats, but she was very good with numbers and helped keep track of the money. She learned to read and write by studying old newspapers and books that people threw away. Years passed. Maya grew from a scared little girl into a strong young woman. Her arms became very powerful from rowing a small boat around the shallow parts of the river. Her mind became sharp from solving problems every day. When Maya was 16, a teacher from the city visited the village. She was amazed by how smart Maya was and how well she could do math. The teacher helped Maya study for school exams through letters and books. Maya worked harder than anyone. During the day she helped with fishing. At night she studied by lamplight. She never forgot what had happened to her, but she used that pain to make herself stronger. One day, she told herself, "I will go back and face the truth." Maya was 22 when she finally felt ready to return to her old city. She had become a successful businesswoman, buying and selling fish to big markets in the city. She had saved enough money to go to university and study law through correspondence courses. Baba Karim and Ammi Fatima were getting old. Maya made sure they had everything they needed before she left. Are you sure about this? Fatima worried. That woman might try to hurt you again. I'm not a helpless child anymore, Maya said. It's time for the truth to come out. Maya returned to her old neighborhood in a car she had bought with her own money. Her wheelchair was now a modern one that she could control easily. She wore nice clothes and looked confident and successful. First, she went to find her father. Mr. Ahmed was older now, with gray hair and sad eyes. He was sitting alone in his small house, looking at old photos of Maya. When Maya knocked on the door, he didn't recognize her at first. She had grown up and looked different. "Papa," she said softly. "It's me. It's Maya." Mr. Ahmed's eyes filled with tears. He couldn't believe it. His little girl had come back. "Maya, my daughter? But how? Where have you been?" he cried, hugging her tightly. Maya told him everything. She told him about the night Saira threw her in the river. She told him about Baba Karim and Ammi Fatima. She told him about her life in the fishing village and how she had worked to become successful. Mr. Ahmed was shocked and angry. "That evil woman," he said. "I trusted her with my precious daughter. Where is she now?" Maya asked. "She left me 5 years ago," Mr. Ahmed said. "She took all my savings and ran away with another man. I've been alone ever since, thinking you were dead." Maya felt sorry for her father, but she wasn't finished yet. She had learned that Saira was living in a big house in the rich part of the city. The man she had run away with was wealthy, and Saira was living a comfortable life. Maya hired a private investigator to find out more about Saira. She learned that Saira had told everyone that Maya had died in an accident. She had even collected insurance money that Mr. Ahmed had taken out for Maya's care. Maya decided to confront Saira at a public place where there would be witnesses. She chose a busy restaurant where Saira often went with her friends. On a sunny afternoon, Maya arrived at the restaurant. She saw Saira sitting at a table with 3 other women, laughing and talking loudly. Saira looked older but was wearing expensive clothes and jewelry. Maya wheeled her chair right up to Saira's table. At first, Saira didn't look up. When she finally did, her face went completely white. "Hello, Saira," Maya said calmly. "Remember me?" Saira's hands started shaking. The other women looked confused. Saira tried to act normal, but her voice was shaking. I don't know who you are," Saira lied. "Really?" Maya said. "Let me remind you. 14 years ago, you took an 8-year-old disabled girl to a bridge. You threw her into the river to drown. That girl was me." The other women gasped. People at nearby tables started listening. Saira looked around nervously. "You're crazy," Saira said, but everyone could see she was lying. "Maya died years ago. She ran away." Maya pulled out some papers from her bag. "These are legal documents," she said loudly so everyone could hear. "They prove who I am. They also show that you collected insurance money for my death while I was still alive. That's called fraud." Saira stood up quickly, knocking over her chair. "You can't prove anything," she said. "Actually, I can," Maya replied. "I have witnesses. I have evidence. And I have something else." Maya pulled out her phone and played a recording. It was Saira's voice from years ago, talking to a friend about getting rid of Maya. Maya had hired investigators who found this old friend, who had kept the recording all these years because it had troubled her. On the recording they could hear Saira saying, "I threw the little cripple in the river. Finally, I'm free of that burden." Everyone in the restaurant was staring now. Saira's face was red with anger and fear. "You should have stayed dead," Saira hissed quietly. "But I didn't die," Maya said, standing up from her wheelchair. Everyone was shocked to see that she could stand with the help of special braces she now wore. Years of therapy and hard work had helped her regain some use of her legs. "I survived because good people found me and loved me. I became strong because I had to be. And now I'm here to make sure you pay for what you did." The police arrived soon after. Other people in the restaurant had called them when they heard what was happening. Saira was arrested for attempted murder, fraud, and child abuse. The story became big news in the city. People were amazed by Maya's survival and success. Her story inspired many others who were facing difficult times. During the trial, more evidence came out. Neighbors from the old house testified that they had seen Saira treating Maya badly. The doctor who had examined Maya after she was found by the river testified about her injuries. Saira tried to claim she was innocent, but there was too much evidence against her. She was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Maya's father cried when he heard the full truth of what had happened. He blamed himself for not seeing Saira's cruelty. "I failed you as a father," he told Maya. "No, Papa," Maya said, holding his hand. You were a good father who was tricked by an evil person. The important thing is that we're together now. Maya used some of her money to buy a house where she and her father could live together. She also brought Baba Karim and Ammi Fatima to live with them so they could all be one big family. Maya started a foundation to help disabled children who were being abused. She wanted to make sure that no other child would go through what she had experienced. She also started a business training program for disabled people in fishing villages, teaching them the skills she had learned. Many people who had been seen as burdens became successful business owners. 5 years later, Maya was standing on the same bridge where Syra had thrown her into the river. But this time she wasn't alone and afraid. She was with her father, Baba Karim, Ammi Fatima, and dozens of children from her foundation. They were throwing flowers into the water, not as a sad goodbye, but as a celebration of new life and hope. The river tried to take me away, Maya told the children. But instead it carried me to people who loved me. Sometimes the worst things that happen to us can lead to the best things in our lives. A little girl in a wheelchair raised her hand. Miss Maya, were you scared when you were in the water? Maya smiled. Yes, I was very scared. But being scared doesn't mean you're weak. Being scared and still fighting to survive makes you strong. Maya looked down at the flowing water. The river that had once been her enemy had become her teacher. It had taught her that even when life pushes you down, you can find the strength to keep flowing, to keep moving forward. Syra was still in prison, and Maya had heard that she was finally learning to feel sorry for what she had done. Maya hoped that was true. Forgiveness didn't mean forgetting what had happened, but it meant choosing not to let hatred control your life. As the sun set over the river, Maya felt peaceful. She had faced her past, found justice, and built a new future. Most importantly, she had learned that real strength doesn't come from perfect legs or perfect families. It comes from love, determination, and the courage to never give up. The river continued to flow, carrying new stories and new hopes toward the sea. And Maya continued to live, proving every day that some people are too strong to be broken, no matter what life throws at them.